Hello, everybody. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Yes.
Okay, great. My name's Eric Robuck. I'm an IT professional. I've been in IT through military, government, and private for the last 25 years. And I'm here to give you a presentation about our company, the Valander Group. The Colonial Pipeline, Solar Winds, JBS, Kaseya, Microsoft Exchange, CNA, Acelion, and thousands of other hacks that did not make the news. The state of our cybersecurity is not great right now, and everyone is at risk. As the saying goes, it is not if, but when, and that is not hyperbole, it's fact. That is why a team of elite business folks got together to try something different. We created the Valander Group, and we are implementing our plan with businesses across the country. In the short time we have today, I would like to convince you that cybersecurity threat is dire and needs attention. Then I will introduce you to members of our group and tell you why we are different. Lastly, I'll field your questions about our group, cybersecurity, and our business strategy. I will do this as quickly as I can because the discussion at the end of this deserves all the time that we can give it. Our world has faced many threats through time. The Nazis, Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor, terrorism, Stalin, and the assurance of mutually assured destruction. All these threats have certain things in common: an army, a nation, a centralized leadership structure, a common mission. Each of these threats changed our world and were fought against by other nations. Armies and groups with common goals fought against these threats. Cyber threats can be the same, but they can be very, very different. There are nations using cyber attacks as a form of warfare. These attacks are called advanced persistent threats. Your company has to be aware of these and on the lookout. You can certainly be affected by advanced persistent threats. Another threat comes from hacking groups. They hack for political reasons, monetary gain, or just because they can. You definitely have to be aware of them. Another threat is organized companies that exist to make money through hacking by charging you ransom just for the privilege of existing. These companies have 401k plans, 24-hour help desks, and medical benefits for employees. One such industry is ransomware as a service. That means folks don't have to know anything about programming. They don't have to know anything technically. They can hire another company to attack you with ransomware and split the profits. You should be petrified by them. Another threat is script kiddies. These are hacking newbies, and if you think you should not be concerned about them, I hope you think differently when I am done. All these threats are aimed at you as an individual and at your company. This is not hyperbole at all. But how are everything from nations to teenagers succeeding at hacking? One reason is the availability of tools and their ease of use. This dragon is something I want you to never forget. Its name is Kali. The Hindu goddess of destruction, Kali, got nothing on this Kali. There are hundreds of hacking tools in Kali. Any guesses on how much it costs? If you guessed free, you got it right. It took me less than 30 minutes to install this and get it up and running on my computer. And that is only part of the scariness. If I go to YouTube, there are thousands of hours of tutorial videos and every tool on Kali and any other tool that I can download into Kali for free, of which there's hundreds and hundreds. Then there's Shodan. Everyone here knows what Google is. Google is a website indexer that you can search and get websites. Shodan is a hardware indexer that you can search at any time. It indexes hardware, and you can search all the hardware across the world. The screenshot is the result of a search that I did for all machines with port 23 open. Port 23 is an invitation to hackers. It is the worst vulnerability you can have, at least one of them. I'm not sure if you can see my shot very well, but it found 590,000 servers in China with this vulnerability, 331,000 in the US, and so on. But I don't want you to look at this and think, boy, is that cool? I can see servers in China with vulnerabilities. I want you to think, my goodness, hackers in China can see any vulnerability they have on my server with a simple search at the speed of light. This then breaks down into individual machines that I can easily attack. The cost for this, I paid $4 for a lifetime membership to Shodan. The last reason is the ease of success using social engineering. Phishing is one extremely successful attack. However, there are many more. My company recently completed an attack where we left in less than 30 minutes from a company with every password the company had, simply by asking the right questions. If you are skeptical, ask me afterwards and I'll outline how we did it and how easy it was. This is a very short presentation, so understand this is not a 10,000-foot view, it's a view from outer space. We are in trouble. People individuals with or without a common goal, an army, a leader, or even a teenager with minimum skill set can hack into your servers if they're not secure. Again, that is not hyperbole at all. I believe our approach to security needs to change, and so does my team. Let me quickly introduce you to some of them. First, there's me. I'm retired military. I spent 24 years in the military. I've been everything from an infantry soldier to a machine gunner on the Eisenhower in Desert Storm to an information technology warrant officer. Been a programmer, database, and cybersecurity guy. I have my CEH, which is Certified Ethical Hacker, my CISSP, Security Plus, and many more. I have bachelor's in computer science, master's cybersecurity, and I already built and sold a company named Vast Data Concepts. Jeffrey Franklin is our legal wing. Notice I did not say he's our lawyer. He's part of our company. He has 25 years law focus on cyber. He's the past president of the Berks Bar. He's a bar technology chair, not only in Berks, but in Pennsylvania. He's the past chair, and he's the founder of Brightline Tech. Chuck Holder's our president with more than 25 years business experience. He's a business strategist and an experienced leadership guy. Robert Orzechowski is our chief operating officer. He's also the chief operating officer at Lancaster Cancer Center, which makes him an HIPAA subject matter expert. He's a decorated combat veteran with 40 years of IT health experience, and he has his MBA. Kathy Warnowski is our CFO. She has 3 different master's degrees, one MBA, and 2 in finance. She's working with me to get her Security Plus. She is certainly a subject matter expert in financial forecasting. Michael DeSelva is one of our pen testers. He has a CISSP, and if you don't know what a CISSP is, that is the creme de la creme of certifications in cybersecurity. If you have your CISSP, you have to really know your stuff. He also has his offensive security certification. You can look that up. He's a mobile device subject matter expert, and he's been at it for 20 years. Darren Anders is on our team. He's a detective in forensic cybersecurity and his master's in cybersecurity. So we have an extremely talented team behind us. Our technical strategy outlines the path we take customers down to ensure compliance, increase their cyber safety. This is all done with the guidance of our team, with safety and foundational understanding in mind. The first step is just foundational. Policies, procedures, and guidelines allow companies to have a roadmap to cyber safety. We have created a web-based infrastructure that houses security frameworks to achieve this. A security framework is a set of policies, procedures, and guidelines to follow to become compliant with the standards or the guidelines that you're using. NIST 853, HIPAA, and ISO 27001 can be easily understood and implemented. Now, companies can have a usable, reliable, and understandable foundation to build their cybersecurity posture on by using the infrastructure we created. This is a critical first step in becoming as cyber safe as you can be. The second is the traditional IT infrastructure scanning and penetration testing. This is a must for any company because, as you can see, if you're not secure in your hardware, Shodan's going to find you. The third is training. If a company does not have a culture of security from the CEO to the employee on the first day, they are extremely vulnerable. This must be dynamic, engaging training so that folks pay attention and understand. This is essential. Also, the training is not one size fits all. There must be at least three levels: leadership, IT, and employees. Each of these groups have different needs. The leadership training conveys, for example, the idea that nothing happens without command emphasis. Leaders must understand and create a culture of security. They need to lead that charge. The fourth is knowing the customer, having a relationship with them, and having the ability to be rigidly flexible to make sure that they are as close to safe as humanly possible because every company and every human is different. The last is a usable, understandable business continuity plan. Since risk is asymptotical, meaning you can never get to 100% safe, it's impossible, there has to be a plan if something goes awry. Our business needs all revolve around growth. We are actively seeking investment to aid this growth. We want to expand our sales and marketing to expand our reach geographically and locally. When this sales team kicks in gear, we will need to expand our security team. These folks must be at the level that we have now, so they will be a challenge to find. Because we believe we are the right company and the right time in history, we will need to spend considerable effort to manage our growth. Since I am a veteran, we would like to expand our offerings to governmental organizations in the future as well. Our team of elite business people are ready to help you the right way. If you need us, we're here for you. Call me at the phone number on the screen or email me anytime, and our entire team will be at your service. What questions can I answer for you?
First of all, thank you, Eric. Great presentation. Folks, if you do have questions, please enter them in the chat screen and I will share them with Eric. Um, Eric, the first question comes from Raja. What is the cost of engaging your business? Is that cost a barrier for small businesses?
Well, probably depends on the size of the small business. Um, let's talk about right of bang and left of bang, right? Bang is when you get hit. It's when something happens to you, when you get ransomware, when you get a data breach. You want to spend your time and money left of bang because if you wait to spend your money right of bang, it's extremely painful. Not only is it more expensive, but you have to tell the government that you got breached. You have to tell all your customers that you got breached. If you survive the reputation hit, um, it's not easy to survive the reputation hit, not let alone the financial hit. So to answer your question, left of bang, our rates are if we come and train your company, we charge $1,550 a day. And for our services, we're $150 an hour.
Good point, Eric. If I had a dime for every client I've spoken to about setting up fraud protection services on their bank accounts, and they didn't listen to me and came back to me after they experienced fraud, boy, I'd be wealthy. Um, okay. Next question comes from Jeff French. How does cybersecurity service relate to IT managed services?
Well, MSPs, managed service providers, are one of our biggest customers. That's one of the industries we target because we believe that we can go help managed service providers. Generally, when you talk about IT, there's three different classes of folks in IT. One is programmers, database folks. One is infrastructure networking folks, and the last is cybersecurity folks. Now, this is from a real 10,000-foot view. You can break it down more from that. However, understand that programmers are generally not networking experts. They know about it, but they're not experts. But programmers and networkers are generally not cybersecurity experts. They may know about it, but not at the level that they need to because it's such an enormous knowledge base that you have to know. So we actively target managed service providers. And if you don't know, a managed service provider is a company that installs networks and manages networks for other companies. We target them to come help them with all their customers.
Great, thank you. All right, just so you folks, if you have a follow-up question from your original question, feel free to jump in. The next question is Samantha Falcone. You sort of answered this question. How much should a small business consider investing in your service on an annual basis? I imagine it should be part of a business plan, but as I find as an architect, small business owners don't even think about these services that are crucial to have a plan for.
I know that's kind of an impossible question to answer. If I come into a small business, even a startup, and I see that for them to run their business, they have to have 5 different servers with a complex network and a web server and a database server. That's one set of expenses. If I see that you have to have one server and a couple computers, that's a whole nother set of expenses. So there's the hardware, and we have to take that in consideration. But the social engineering is a whole nother um, expense to talk about, and that's all about training and mock attacks. So that question is almost impossible to answer because everybody is so different.
Okay. Uh, Next question is from Linda. In your experience, what industries are most vulnerable to attack?
Well, I can say all industries are at risk, all of them. However, the biggest targets are higher education, medical, and credit card industries. However, higher education is the number one target. Number one. Medical is the number two target. Higher education, there are so many points of attack, right? In social engineering, in all the students must have logins. There's so many points of attack. It's an easy attack vector. And higher education should be going after cybersecurity without bounds because they're being attacked constantly. Governmental agencies are under attack constantly. School districts are under attack. Anybody that touches healthcare records are under huge attack. If you have a company that stores PII, personally identifiable information, you really need to get secure because you will certainly be under attack.
Great. So the next question comes from Tony. Tony, I'm not sure I understand your question. What is the best type individuals can get for cybersecurity protection? Maybe you can.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly that what that question means. When I think of cybersecurity protection, I think of multiple things. When I on an individual basis, if you're talking about a person, I would tell you you certainly need to have your passwords in order. If you can remember your passwords, you are in trouble. If your passwords are something that you said, you know what, I like the Yankees and I'm going to have my password is Yankees are great, and I'm going to put an at symbol in for the A and exclamation point 1, 2, 3, you're lost. When you close your eyes and you think of a hacker, many times we close our eyes and we think of a hacker and we think of somebody sitting in their mother's basement and they're 30 years old and they never went out and got a job and they're just sitting hacking, and they got 3 days of beard and all that. Get that out of your mind. That's just not life. What reality is these people that are hacking are absolutely brilliant. You are not going to fool them. If your passwords are something that you can remember, I could crack your password very, very quickly through social engineering, through Cali tools. Um, Here's what I want you to remember. Convenience is the hacker's best friend. If you're doing something easy, you make it easy for the bad guy. You make it easy for me as a certified ethical hacker to come in and take everything that you have, to come in and own your company. And I want you folks to take that saying that I just said and put it into your heart. These people want to own your company, and they are going to. When you watch the news and you say solar winds, there was a solar winds hack and it went throughout the government has the best cybersecurity out there, and they still got them because they're such a huge target. If you are low hanging fruit, these folks are brilliant enough to get you. If your company is low hanging fruit, they will get you. You can't be low hanging fruit. You have to partner with somebody like us to help you not be the low hanging fruit. Because if I'm going after somebody, I'm going to go after and find the people and the companies that are easy to get. If you're not easy to get, I'm moving on. I hope I answered your question.
Next question is actually for me, Eric. I work at a bank that has over 27,000 employees, and on a regular basis, I get sent phishing emails from my own company to test to see if we are paying attention
Mhm.
and not missing what we need to do. What are some other tactics that business owners use to help their employees be, up to snuff on these issues?
Boy, is that a great question. So, phishing, and you probably used No before, one of their um, competitors. And those services which we offer are essential. However, it's not sufficient. So phishing is only one social engineering strategy. It's a very good one, and people get hit all the time, but that's only one, right? So your employees need training to understand, especially at a bank, other social engineering, other social engineering strategies. And I'll give you just one, and there's many. Like I said, I got all the passwords from the last company that we hit in a half hour. If I wanted to target you, I would come to you and I would probably find out where you went to Starbucks or where you spent your time. And I would send somebody that worked for me, probably a young lady that works for me, to slowly start talking to you and making you feel comfortable. And then she's going to ask you your sports teams, your wife's name, your kid's name, your dog's name. We're going to find out everything we can about you. And then I'm going to go into Cali. I'm going to make it a dictionary of probably 20 million different passwords that you could have used to use for your passwords. Yankees 1, 2, 3, 50 different ways, your wife's name, your kids' names together. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to use that dictionary in something called John the Ripper or many other tools to hack your passwords. So it's not just phishing, it's digging for information. There are so many different social engineering attacks that your people need to know about beyond phishing. Did that answer your question?
It certainly helped. Yes, yes.
Yeah, and the answer is training.
Great, great. Okay, next question is from Jeff French. Do you offer security-related equipment, software, and installation, or services only?
Uh, there's a blending. Our biggest offering is services. However, like I said, we do have, and we are building a compliance infrastructure so that a small business can, or a large business can say, we want to be NIST certified. We want to be NIST compliant. Well, if you look at NIST, it is a very long, complicated set of documents telling you exactly what you should do. We've taken that along with other frameworks, put it in an infrastructure so that you can have a tool to click through and say, here, we're going to talk about asset management. And under asset management, there may be 5 different things that I need to do. And then there's another subcategory of a whole bunch of things that I need to do. And then there's the instructions. So you can click through there and put in notes and exactly where you're at and what you need to do, and assign it to people and the things that you need to do to be compliant with NIST or HIPAA or ISO or whatever you're using. Um, so that's the software that we use. We can help you with no before attacks. Um, if you need help installing things like LastPass or other setting up a SIEM system or setting up something that monitors traffic, of course we can help you with that. We can do remote monitoring. We can help you with that. So we offer a pretty wide array of cybersecurity services.
Great. The next question is coming from Samantha again. Can you share some stories of how hackers have taken advantage of smaller companies and what happened to them? My husband's identity was recently stolen and used to try and apply for unemployment for someone just last week. Thankfully, his company had plans in place to find these things.
Okay, I'll give you 2 quick stories. I got a phone call one night of a company saying, "Oh my gosh, I think we got hacked. Can you come in?" So I went in and I went through everything that happened, and here's what happened. Their passwords were bad, right? Their passwords were super easy to guess. So somebody guessed their IT manager's password. And what they did, and it happened to be a school. So they sent emails out to people looking for jobs and said, yes, you got the job. Give me all your ACH information so we can set up payment for you. And all of a sudden, this person starts getting emails, and this person coming in for a job, and they had no idea in the world what they were talking about. So this individual lost thousands of dollars, and the school looked horrible. And because of their cybersecurity practices, they caused a young person to get hacked. Not only that, the hackers, because they had a way in, they didn't choose to, but they could have easily got into their records and did what ransomware folks usually do. They get in, they stay in around 3 months to make sure that they got your backups corrupted. They watch everything that you do. They get all your data. They find out all your finances, so they know exactly what to charge you. They look for insurance policies and cybersecurity, so they helps you to know exactly what to charge you. And then they hit you with a ransomware, and you're completely locked out. The thing that you can do then is you can pay the ransom. If you have a hot site, you can bring that back up. If you taken extreme measures to bring yourself back up, you can bring yourself back up. However, what's less expensive? Paying $250,000 in ransom, or having to tell all your customers that you've been hacked and they're going to be down for the next 3 weeks as we're trying to come back up, to pay people to pay a company to come in to do incidents response and try to get you back up. Even if you do that, cyber companies that do ransomware right now are now holding your data hostage and saying, you're either going to pay the ransom, or we're going to slowly tell everybody in the world everything that you do, all your customers PII. Not only that, we're going to sell it all on the dark web. We're going to sell all the credit cards you have. We're going to sell all the healthcare information you have. We're going to sell all your kids' grades, everything we can do to get you to pay us ransom. The other story that I would say is the attack that I mentioned earlier. We walked into a place of business, um, and one of my engineers walked in and said, I'm out here working. I need your wireless password. And they said, sure, you can use our wireless password, which is a big mistake. And they sat down and said, I don't remember it. And they opened a book with all their passwords in it. So what we did is we waited and we watched and we went and stole their book. And we had every password they ever wanted. And then we went to the owner who paid us to look and said, these are things you have to fix. I hope those were hope I answered what you were looking for.
Okay, next question's from Al Garrett. How effective are login screens that only allow 3 incorrect passwords before you have to call in?
Well, they're effective to brute force attacks. So the reason you do that is if you don't get a login lockout, I can write a program to take that dictionary of over 14 million passwords for you that I have, and I can just put it in a loop until I get your password. So that thwarts a brute force attack. So I would say that is extremely needed, but not sufficient. There needs to be more. But if you're working with a bank or if you're working with an organization does not have logouts, you should get them to do logouts, because if not, not logouts, but uh, that you have to call and get your account re-enabled, you should call them and say, why aren't you doing that? Because you're open to brute force attacks.
Okay, so next question's coming from me again, Eric. So what I've noticed from experience is that um, a lot of companies I deal with do not ask to update your password on a regular basis. Is I'm actually pretty surprised. Large organizations, and I'm wondering, is it because they have an effective system to protect us against it, or they're just not on the ball?
They're just not on the ball. Listen, there's certain hard, fast rules for password security. Changing your password's one of them. Making sure you have different passwords for different sites is another one. There's a whole list of rules that you want to be doing that we can help you with. But if they're not, and as a cybersecurity professional, I will tell you that if there's a company that's not making you change your password at least quarterly, but should be monthly, you're open. Because what if somebody has hacked your password and you don't know it, right? If you haven't changed your password for a year, they're in for a year. And there's a multitude of other reasons. But yeah, people should be changing. And if people aren't making you change your passwords, change them. They have to be random. Go to the internet and find a random password generator and change your passwords. And if you look and say, there is no way on God's green earth I can remember all these random passwords, get a password manager like LastPass. It'll do it for you. So there's all sorts of rules, all sorts of things that you have to do to stay safe. That's why you need to partner yourself as a business or as an individual with a cybersecurity firm, because the cyber world has gotten so deep and so wide, you can't know everything.
Great, thank you. I think I know the answer to this question. It's a question again from Al. Do ransom attackers always release the data after getting paid?
Ransom attackers don't always do anything. Remember, ransom attackers are criminals, right? They're going to do what's best for them. So there's times, and I just worked with a company that got hit with a ransomware attack, paid it, and now they're fine and dandy. However, are they 100% sure there wasn't something put into their system where they can't come back? Of course they're not. These are criminals. If they think they can get more money, they're going to get more money. Has there been incidences of people paying the ransom and they're saying, yeah, thanks, but we need a little bit more? Or, yeah, here's your company back, but you need to keep paying us or else we're going to be releasing all your data. Remember when I said spending time and resources left of bang is far less painful than spending it right of bang? That's what you have to remember, is a hack is not an event, it's a process. hackers, bad guys take time to figure out everything that they need to do to get you, so they really have you. They spend that time left of bang. You need to spend that time left of bang, or you're going to get attacked. There's not a whole lot of there's not a whole lot of businesses out there that can say, if you don't do something, this is going to happen to you. I believe I'm one of them. In cybersecurity, if you don't do something, you're going to get attacked.
So I'm going to start using that in my talks with my clients. Left of bang and right of bang. That's a great saying. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that with us. Next question is from Tony Fernandez. Wouldn't password manager get hacked too?
So there's a word I want everybody to remember. If you're a math person, you'll know what I mean by asymptotical. So asymptotical is something that increases in percentages, so it'll never reach 100%. That's cybersecurity, right? So you can keep getting closer and closer to 100%, but you're never going to reach it. That's just isn't possible. If you don't do anything, you're lost. But you have to do something. Maybe you can get up to 80 or 90%. That's a password manager, right? So if you have a password manager with a password to get into it that's 100 characters long, that you've put someplace that nobody can get it, it is far, far, far more secure than you having 50 passwords out there that you have to remember, or um, or that you have written down in a book or written down on your computer. Can it get attacked? Everything can be attacked, but you can do things to make sure that if it does, that you're covered. So you have to watch and say, did LastPass get attacked? Man, I gotta go change all my passwords and get out of LastPass right now. That's one attack vector as opposed to 50 attack vectors. It's a much better model than what 90% of the people are doing now.
Okay.
What else can I help you with?
Any other questions out there right now?
Yes, Jeffrey.
Hey, Eric, just a quick question on this. So how do the bad guys actually get caught? And when they do get caught, what are the ramifications? What kind of penalties do they have? You don't hear a lot of stories about that side of it as well.
It's extremely hard to catch a bad guy. The reason is that you can remain completely anonymous out on the internet, and the way you do that is twofold. Has anybody ever here heard of Tor? So TOR stands for the onion router. So some years ago, the Department of the Navy wanted its clandestine folks to remain anonymous, of course. So it created Tor. Tor is a browser that uses hops. So if I go to Tor and I type in Google, it's going to go to three other machines, get Google, and send it back to me. So nobody knows who actually went to Google. Right? I have Tor sitting on my machine. I use it all the time. So that makes me remain anonymous. If I put Tor on another flavor of Linux like Kali called Tail, I am completely and utterly anonymous. There is no way to trace back to me, right? But what happens to them? So everybody knows what the dark web is. If not, contact me. I'll let you know. There was kind of the first bad site on the web, on the dark web, called Silk Road, right? Silk Road was run by somebody that named themselves the Dread Pirate Roberts. And if you watch the Princess Bride movie, you'll understand what that means. So it wasn't one person. They kept passing it down to people to run the Silk Road. You could buy drugs, you could buy hitmen, you could buy anything you can imagine on the Silk Road using, and that was all made possible through blockchain and cryptocurrency, and you can still remain anonymous. When they finally tracked down the guy running the Silk Road at the time they were running it, I believe he got 3 life sentences. So of course it depends on what you've done, but the penalties are stiff.
Okay, another question here. How safe is, from Linda, I hope I don't butcher your name, Rentschler. How safe is it to store passwords on your computer, password storage?
Um, there's levels of safe. So I assume you're talking about Chrome putting it in, right? Chrome has that. I think that Windows has something. I choose to use something external, LastPass. It's more secure than you remembering it, but I think LastPass is more secure than the computer's password storage.
Okay,
And I see you've succeeded in alarming me. Me too. Me three. I am so happy that I've alarmed people because it's alarming. People don't understand the people don't understand the reality of cybersecurity. I have about an hour long presentation I give that gives you the a little bit better of a flavor of what the reality of cybersecurity is right now. If you would like me to give that sometime, I'd be glad to. I also teach cybersecurity courses at Alvernia University to help people get their security plus and give them what reality is. You have to know reality. You can't protect yourself if you don't know what's out there and how to protect yourself. So if I've alarmed you, I'm happy.
I have to agree with that sentiment. I can remember a few years back, we did a seminar at the bank in cybersecurity and invited our clients, and that's exactly what they said to us at the end of the presentation. You succeeded in alarming me and scaring me to the point where I understand it and I get it, and now I'm going to take the precautions that I need to take. And I invite any business owner here or person who wants to follow up with Eric to please do so. Eric, I think you put your information in the screen here on the chat screen. If you haven't, please do.
Yes, I did. I'll do it again for you because if you need us, please don't hesitate. I can tell you your company is going to suffer and you are going to suffer if you don't do something.
That is so true. Okay, so we're going to finish up the question and answer session here. What I'd like to do now is, if you are new to the group and you would like to introduce yourself, we can certainly go ahead and do that. And after that, I'll allow folks to, if they've got an event going on that they'd like to share, we'll allow them to do that next. So is there anyone in the room who is new that would like to say hello? I guess we're today. Okay then. Then I'm going to go ahead and if anybody has an announcement to make, you can hopefully won't be on top of each other here. So maybe if you just either raise your hand or put in the chat screen that you have one to make, and I'll call on you. Go ahead, Rita.
Hey everyone, I'm Rita Guthrie from Open Door Public Relations. I wanted to let you know that I'm going to cancel this month's coffee talk because we're tired of Zoom, and in August we're going to switch to in person, and that will be announced pretty soon. And my first book was released this spring. It's Success Reimagined, and I just put the information in the chat. This is available at local bookstores from Jeff French, who's here with us today. He's one of the contributors, or from me, or on Amazon. Success Reimagined. Thanks.
Great, thank you, Rita. Anyone else at the moment? Since no one's raising their hand, I've got an announcement to make. My wife's band, Resting Punk Face, will be playing at Joe's Tavern. It'll be Punks at Twilight versus the Tunes at Twilights at Joe's Tavern tomorrow evening from 6 to 8. I hope you folks can get out and join us. And on Sunday, The Pumpkin Preppy Show will be returning. I'm sorry, on Saturday. The Pumpkin Preppy Show will be returning at 2 o'clock. It's a live feed. If you're on Facebook, you know who we are. And if you don't, I have my information and contact information there as well. Anyone else?
I don't know if Pete's going to talk about Friends of Pete is tomorrow.
Okay.
From 4 to 7 at Simon's Silk Mill in Easton, PA. Specifically, the address is 125 Simon Boulevard.
So we have some competition, I see.
Yeah, I'm sorry to do that, Matt, because I know you were at the last Friends of Pete. So,
I think you'll have a better time at Resting Punk Face.
so maybe you can do both. Get to Pete's early. And what did you say yours starts?
We're 6 to 8, so go to Pete's 4 to 6
Yeah.
and then come see us.
Yeah.
Friends of Pete are big fans of Resting Punk Face, just so we know. That's very true.
Well, Pete, maybe you'll slip out early then. Good.
That's awesome.
Okay, so anyone else?
Dave, I have a question with regards to the location for Friends of Pete. That address you gave, is that Bozer Geist Craft Brewery?
Ask Pete. Pete.
Yeah. Yeah, just so everybody knows, it's a mix of businesses. So you're right, Jeff. It's Bozer Geist. It's also County Seed Spirits. There's the wine store over there and Mario's. So it's 4 places that are right next to each other. They're all participating.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, I think that's it for the announcements. I know that is someone staying to host the networking part of the show today?
I
Yeah,
can't.
Dave, I think Dave is saying, but I'll make Julia the host, so I can transfer the hosting duty to her, so it'll be open. So, Dave,
Okay.
you're saying, right?
I'll stay. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. And Eric, thank you again. When we do come back into, actually, next week, reminder everyone, we're back at the CIE, same time, 9 o'clock. We hope you can join live, but if you can't, you can still join a Zoom session, and you can get in touch with one of the organizers and to see how to do that. Or you can contact the person who sent you the Zoom link, Julia. She should be able to help you, right, Raj?
Yeah.
Great. Well, everyone, have a great day. Eric, thanks again. And we're looking forward to seeing you all live soon.
You're more than welcome.